You guys all good?
We're good.
Can you hear me? Sound levels are okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Just for the record, Mark Tompkins, President and CEO of the German American Chamber of Commerce of the Midwest.
Can you spell your first name, Mark?
M-A-R-K, and the last name Tompkins, T-O-M-K-I-N-S.
And the title again?
I'm sorry?
Your title again?
President and CEO of the German American Chamber of Commerce of the Midwest. You need something? A little closer to the mic?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you good, Martin?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. I hope you can hear me. In honor of Thanksgiving, I'm going to start with some good news and thankful news. CNN has once again named Chicago's Christkindlmarket as one of the top 17 holiday markets anywhere in the world. And we're included on that list with markets like our partner organization in Nuremberg that dates back to 1530. So truly a great crowd. Just yesterday, we were named as the best in the world for holiday and cheer and festive food. I might be biased, but I would normally wholeheartedly agree with the statement that we have the best cheer and the best food at any market in the world. And even today, the food is still true. Unfortunately, this year, particularly for our vendors and the public waiting in long lines outside, there's a little less cheer than normal. But there is a silver lining right now. I just got off the phone with the mayor's office, and they're working with us to find a solution to these long lines, to the crowds waiting outside, to our open and empty passageways through the market. And we want to move forward in a safe manner. We want to address the long lines, and we want a solution that works for all Chicagoans and our visitors. But with that, our vendors are struggling. You'll hear from some of them in a few minutes. In real human terms, what it means when we had a sudden shift from the city of Chicago in terms of our capacity limitations literally the day before we opened our market. Yeah, I love Chicago. I'm a Chicagoan. I live here, I work here. I want to see people going shopping on State Street. I want to see people coming out in the coming weeks to enjoy the holidays down here in Chicago. But our existence as a holiday market depends on this issue being resolved. And once again, I'd like to emphasize the conversations this morning with the mayor's office have been positive, and I'm hopeful we'll get to a great resolution here going forward. Chicago's holiday vibrancy and Chicago as a holiday destination is what's on the line here today. Again, we'd like to thank Mayor Johnson and his team for agreeing to work with us to save the culture, to help small businesses, and to support more tourism here in Chicago. We're committed to safety. We're committed to giving our visitors the best experience they can when they come down to the Loop, the heart of Chicago, to enjoy the holidays. Now, I'd like to introduce you to a couple of our vendors, and they've been with us a long time. They're what make the market what it is today. So many of them are here in the room with us today. We'll start with Wolfgang Pönighaus. He's been a vendor with us for 22 years, and he owns the Stuffed Gourmet Pretzel booth out here. If you've ever had the Stuffed Gourmet Pretzels, they're fantastic. And they also have the Gift and Candle Palace. So with that, then we'll move on to another vendor and open it up for questions from the audience. So, Wolfgang.
Hi, Chicago. I'm exhibitor on the Christkindlmarket since 22 years, and I've been chosen to speak for us vendors. If you are one of hundreds which used to walk over to the Christkindlmarket, grab a bite, get the feel of Christmas, and meet with friends, prepare yourself, you won't just get in. You will have to stand in long lines, and when you finally reach the gate, probably your lunch break is over. We, the vendors, are ready for you, but you're not coming anymore. Sales are down. Some vendors say up to 40%. I have no clue why the city has surprised us with new regulations without giving us any information in advance. These regulations will make our survival very difficult, if not impossible. Just when we oldies are handing over the torch to the next generation, we are threatened to be closed for good if we allow you, the people of Chicago, to roam freely in and out of our market. After almost 30 years, without any major problems, now you have to wait outside, some up to 2 hours, while we are waiting inside for you. We had to swallow the COVID distance regulations already, but they were necessary and acceptable. This new regulation will be the end of the market. I'm not here to explain our business concept. Every person with common sense will understand that if we have 40% less people entering, we will have 40% less sales. This year, our investments have gone up significantly because of Trump tariffs and higher prices, which, by the way, we share with our customers. And of course, we placed our orders based on previous years. Revenue for the city will go down. We are taxpayers like everybody else. All food vendors won't be able to fulfill their obligation towards their suppliers, all of them companies in Chicago. And we have to fire some of our staff, people we hire in Chicago. I'm sure that most of you will understand that this is not going to work. A 30-year-old Christmas tradition, deeply connected with Chicago, will be dead. But we have hope. Hope in you, the people of Chicago. We want you to know that you have been the best customers we ever had. You're generous, you're friendly, and you're patient, and you're supportive, even coming out when the snow flies horizontal. When Daily Plaza was busy, very busy on weekends, the ambience often was so good that some simply don't want to go home at night. Is this supposed to be over now? If you want this market to survive, and if you want us to stay here for the time to come, we need a practical solution. So please, people of Chicago, this is your city. This is your Christkindlmarket. We need to hear your voice as loud as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Wolfgang. And for additional background for everyone, when we're talking about the capacity of the plaza, we were informed the day before the market opened, less than 12 hours before we were welcoming everybody here on the plaza, that our capacity would be 1,050 people on the plaza, plus another 503 people in our timber tent here, in our timber house across the way, and those kinds of structures. During COVID, we had a capacity limit of 3,494. As you can tell, even with social distancing during COVID, our capacity limits were more than double what they are now as of last week. And again, that has a real cost to our vendors, to our visitors waiting outside. And with that, I'd like to introduce Sabina Korga of Bienes Honighaus. So if you've ever purchased her wonderful honey, beeswax products, come find her. She'll talk a little bit about what this market has meant to her and her family. So, Sabina.
Hi, my name is Sabine, and my family has traveled from Germany to Chicago for 17 years to run our honey and glass ornament booth at the Christkindlmarket. This means our heart. Chicago has truly become like a second home to us. When I was a teenager, I dreamed of coming to the United States. And being part of this market made that dream come true. Last year, my sons Daniel and Michael took over the bratwurst stands after the previous owner, who had them for 29 years, retired. For us, it was a big step and a proud moment to continue this tradition as a family. We invested everything we had, and most importantly, we hired about 30 local Chicagoan employees. These are wonderful people, students, parents, people working 2 jobs, people who depend on this income during the holidays. But this year, the strict visitor limits have changed everything. Our sales are down more than 40%. This is not a small number. This is a difference between surviving the season or not. Inside the market, the aisles are empty, while outside, long lines of families standing, waiting in the cold. They want to come in and we want to serve them, but we can't. Because of this, our Chicago workers lose their hours. They lose their income. They told me they don't know how they will pay their rent or buy Christmas gifts for their children. This conversation breaks my heart. These people are part of our family too. And as a small business owner, I've had many sleepless nights, worrying about my sons, about our employees, about how we can keep going on. For us, Christmas is not only in December. After Christmas is already before Christmas. We start producing again in February, and we love the season, but our entire next year becomes very uncertain now. This is also a loss for Chicago. Visitors travel from all over the world, enjoy the market. When the aisles are empty, when people wait outside instead of spending money inside with Chicago vendors and workers, the whole city loses. We are kindly asking, please, find a safe and balanced solution, one that allows more visitors inside, supports us vendors, and protects the income of many Chicago's workers who rely on this market. We just need a chance. Chicago deserves a full, joyful, living Christkindlmarket, and we want to be a part of it for the future. Thank you.
Could you spell your name, please? Spell your name, please.
Sabine,
Yeah. Spell it.
Sabine, Korger.
Okay. Thank you.
Even if you'll stay around, we'll take some questions if there's questions from the media. One more point to emphasize. This market, we're going to celebrate 30 years next year, we hope. The economic impact for the city of Chicago comes to over $190 million per year. That's visitors coming into this city that go shopping on State Street and the Mac Mile. That's visitors coming in, having a bite at a restaurant downtown Chicago. It's about small businesses. Our vendors, you've heard from them. They're family-owned, family companies, just trying to make a living and bring holiday cheer to Chicago. So that's why we're here. We're a nonprofit too. This is really something that is our gift to Chicago, and we hope to continue it for many, many years to come. And again, thanks to the mayor's office, I'm hopeful that we'll come to a good resolution now. There's still work to be done. But again, we want to celebrate with all Chicagoans and celebrate these holiday seasons. So I'll take some questions if we have questions for our vendors as well. And then from there, we have our team ready to walk with all or any of the media to the booths with those vendors that have agreed to talk to the media as well. So right here up front.
Mark, did the mayor's office give you any reason for why they put these limitations in place?
We did have discussions with the city, and they're referencing obviously the municipal code and the current interpretation of the municipal code. The code hasn't changed. Our plaza layout hasn't changed, but there was a new interpretation, and they gave what that interpretation is, and that's what we're trying to work on as to why the interpretations have changed over the years.
At what point, what was the capacity prior to any of these changes and prior to COVID?
The only capacity we've ever had with the city was the 3,494 during COVID. Other than that, we've worked on everything else, from how we manage lines, how we manage exits and entrances, how we manage flow, and the layout of the market. So that's the tricky thing, is that only in the COVID year was the only year that we were given a solid number as to what the capacity limits are until Thursday last week.
So without capacity limits, how many people were in the plaza at a time?
Yeah, we managed it based on flow and keeping people safe. And over the years, that usually meant somewhere in the 4,000 range. So again, we're happy to find the compromise. We're happy to find and work with the city. It's in our interest too to keep everyone safe, and to make sure everyone has a great time on the plaza.
Before the limitations, I mean, did the market experience any issues with like crowd control or anything like that, or?
I mean, we've acknowledged over the years too, even at our social media, that crowds are a challenge, right? We're a little bit of a thing. People love to come to the market, and so how do we manage that and allow people onto the plaza while keeping it safe? So that's something we've had discussions on for years, and why we've worked on our exits and why we've worked on everything else to have a safe market.
So market capacity levels are not allowed to change from where they are today. Will the market continue to be here in Daly Plaza going forward?
If capacity levels don't change, what I can say is that many of our vendors will be in severe financial pain. That will mean changes for what happens with this market going forward. Us as the German American Chamber, as a nonprofit organization, it will certainly affect us. So we'll have to find other solutions going forward, and we're committed to working with the city to do so.
And I know in the past, so you had unlimited capacity levels. What number would you guys be happy with going forward? Like, what would you like the city to give you?
Yeah, what we've been talking about right now, including this morning, is we know the capacity levels for COVID with social distancing worked. That during the COVID era, 3,494 maintained a safe distance on the plaza even in the pandemic. And if those worked then with the same map, those should work again.
You mentioned a 40% drop in sales. Is there a figure for what typically the market earns prior to these limitations?
Again, we as an organization are a nonprofit, and whatever comes out of the market goes into programming like apprenticeships for youth in Chicagoland. In terms of our vendors and the revenue drop, talk to our vendors. They're willing to share how it's affected them personally. Each vendor has had a different experience.
Sabine, right quick, would
Yeah,
you be able
Sabine.
to answer that question?
Yeah, we need.
Or do you want to come to the microphone?
So I'm also surprised that the sales are that low now. But I think we need the people. So all over the world, the Christmas markets are crowded, and everybody is right in front of your booth. So some people come more and look. Oh, they're standing, for instance, 3 people, and maybe this one is nice. I have to look over there. So, and right now they limit the limitation, so they wait because the plaza is very empty now, and then they let them in, but the people go around, and okay, maybe some appreciate that it's like empty, but for us, and all we need the lines, all the food booths, they need the lines, they need the people, they need the crowds all around. So I am pretty not sure why it is like that, but so we lost our sales. So.
And for your business, how much?
And for my, it depends on the day, so it's between 35 and 40%. really. So we are really sad about it, and so I told you right before, it makes our business impossible.
And I'll put that in a little bit of context. If any other business here in Chicago lost 35 to 40% of their sales literally overnight, they'd be in trouble. And particularly our vendors. They've already ordered their products. They've already handmade a lot of these products. They have artisans working all year just to prepare for this market. This is their one chance to make good on all those people that they've employed throughout the year to paint the ornaments, to do the handcrafts, and then they get here in the market and suddenly their sales are down 35 to 40%. And then they have to decide what they do when they go home, because they have all this inventory left over from the market this year. What happens to those artisans back home in Germany? What happens to those artisans whose livelihoods depend on everybody coming to the market and enjoying the fruits of their labor? And next year's probably not going to be a very good year for those people back home. I mean, literally, I've had tears this week from myself hearing the stories of what's happening to our vendors and what they're thinking about what's going to happen when this market's over and they have to go home and tell their teams, their artisans back home what's going to happen.
How many vendors are in the market currently?
So all in, we're just over 50 vendors here. We have a different set of vendors out in Aurora and more up in Wrigleyville. And this is the one place that right now is really hurting. Other?
Thanks, Mark.
Is there a deadline from the advice gave from the mayor's office to give you guys about capacity?
No, we haven't been working with deadlines. Every hour that goes by hurts. And honestly, they know that. So I'm thankful, especially this morning, Black Friday morning, where the mayor's office has been working with us now to find a solution.
In your conversations, do you foresee a solution coming this year for the rest of your season, or are we talking about solutions for next year?
It's exactly the hope, is that we will have a solution for this year, because every day this goes on is a day too long for all of our vendors, and quite frankly for all the people standing out in the lines. My fear is this continues, fewer people are going to come downtown because they're going to say, hey, it's not worth waiting in line. But that doesn't just hurt our vendors. That doesn't just hurt our market. That hurts State Street. That hurts the Mag Mile. That hurts the restaurants. And the more people that say, yeah, it's not really worth it, I'll just shop out here close to home, the city of Chicago doesn't get that benefit and that economic impact by having people as far away. We've had Virginia, California, Texas, just I'm talking about literally the last 2 days on the market that people have come up to me all over the world. They came here for this market, and as soon as it gets out that they might not get into the market, that's a challenge for drawing more people to downtown Chicago.
If there are
Wolfgang?
no questions anymore, I have one more thing to say.
Wolfgang.
I have one more thing to say. It was not in my script. 3 years ago, the Board of Tourism of the state of Illinois had an advertising campaign for the state and also for the city of Chicago. We had the Hollywood actress Jane Lynch in our booth, in the Star booth, and their slogan was "Welcome to the middle of everything." So that was the Christmas market in Chicago. So it should not be erased. Thank you.
They're fantastic. That's the heart of our market. Our vendors that do this out of love. Obviously there's a business interest too, but this hospitality, this cheer is what we want to continue on for a long, long time. So any last questions? And otherwise our team's ready to work with anyone to go meet with our vendors, get more interviews, really hear from the individual personal stories of what this means to Chicago. One last one.
Closure of one impact the other one in the world.
I'm sorry?
Does closure of one impact another?
Oh, Aurora is certainly continuing. We have a great relationship with Aurora, and the real question comes down to is what happens when certain vendors can't make it anymore.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay,
Unless,
good.
unless I missed it, can I get Wolfgang's?
I'm sorry,
can I-
Wolfgang Punighaus.
just, spelling and.
Yeah,
and-
Wolfgang Wolfgang Punighaus, Poenighaus. Did I get it right, Wolfgang?
Yeah.
There we go. Off the top of my head, getting spelling is the challenge. Okay, so for anyone who would like to go meet with various vendors, Lila Schmidt right out here in front for group Maren Vista Privi and Karina Mundry. So anybody